Sir, I'm freaking out.
What's wrong?
All the good goaltenders are getting snatched up. If we don't do something soon, we're going to get left behind.
I know, but that's why I've been talking to Boston all week.
Ullmark, yeah.
Oh yeah. The way I see it, it's about time we start learning from this franchise's mistakes over the years.
You know, that's honestly really nice to hear because we've made so many mistakes over the years that it's almost impossible to think of a new one.
Little harsh, little unnecessary, but you're right. So, as long as we avoid any of the obvious blunders from our predecessors, then we should have this team competing for a playoff spot, maybe as soon as next year.
Don't repeat the mistakes.
Don't repeat the mistakes.
Do not repeat the mistakes.
Mistaka, no repeater.
Repeater, no mistaker.
Hey, I don't know what the hell that just was, but Ullmark, the goaltender who put up excellent numbers behind historically one of the most defensively structured and disciplined franchises in the league, while never carrying a starting goaltender's workload, would like an extension in place before he waives his no-trade clause to go to you. He wants 5 years, $35 million. Deal.
Great. Go back to your finger thing.
And the off-season is done. What?
Repeater, one mistaker.
Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team, welcome back. I'm sure you're all enjoying this final that is anything but predictable. Game 7 tomorrow night, likely doing a live stream for that, which will be a lot of fun. But it is officially silly season. Trades have happened. Nervous energy is in the air. It's the season of frustration, excitement, sexual tension. It's all there. It's all there on the tip of your fingertips. It's right, just reach out and grab it. It's so unbelievably fun, unless your team is involved, and then it's very, very nerve-wracking and not fun. This right here is a simple video. It's a simple video, and it's going to increase the nervous energy, but also the excitement. And I like simple videos because I am a simple man. Very simple. I like hockey, sports in general, competition. I like it. I like to do a good job at whatever I'm doing. I like doing that. I like my fiance, and I like my dogs. Simple man. I don't need a lot. But I would love a winning hockey team. Yeah, playoffs was great. That was fun. Excited. I'd really love a cup. God, would I love a cup. Watching the Celtics win the whole kit and caboodle. Exciting, yeah. But basketball is like third or fourth on my list of my favorite sports to watch. It really did internally reawaken that, God, I need that for the Bruins. I need it. It's been so long. I just want it so badly for them. I want it so badly for them. I want it so badly for me. I'm sure I'm not alone in that. But the reason that this video is coming up, it's a silly video for a silly season, and it's simple. The Ullmark trade. It appears we're getting an Ullmark trade. It appears to be damn near a certainty, and depending on who you trust, the deal is already done. There's people saying it. I don't have any rock solid information, and by rock solid, I mean I don't know anything for a pure fact from my own knowledge. Other people have said things. I have heard things. But I don't know. But it sounds like it's Ullmark and Lauko for Chychrun in a first. That's what it sounds like. That's what people are talking about. I'm not alone in that. I'm not breaking news. But I see a lot of reactions to it. The first reaction being, sweet, excellent, that's good value. I agree. That's the easy option to talk about, right? That's the easy response to talk about. Ullmark needs to get moved. You get a person you can slot into your lineup right away, and you get a first-round pick, 25th overall, which is actually the Bruins pick that we traded to Detroit for Bertuzzi. It's a whole thing. But it would be our own pick coming back to us. But a first-rounder. You like that, right? You like that. That is value for one year of Linus Ullmark. But there are a couple different negatives I'm seeing from this trade. The first one, there's really two, but there's a little honorable mention here where people are like, not Lauko. Again, maybe it's not Lauko. Maybe it's a different role player. These are the names that we're hearing. Lauko is not a needle mover. I like Lauko. I want the best for Lauko. He's a fun guy, empties the bucket, draws a lot of penalties, fun to watch. Great. He is replaceable with internal competition. That's very true. I like Lauko, but if he needs to be a throw-in to get more value out of a deal, fine. The Bruins are loaded with bottom six guys. We kind of had this conversation a lot last year. It's a team that's hoping that the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. I don't know how that phrase works, but you get it. We need everyone going the same direction and the result to be better than what all the parts are. Lauko is replaceable, and as much as I like him, he should not be a deal breaker for anybody on this deal. But there's two different negative reactions I'm seeing to this trade. So instead of just breaking down the assets of it, I think it's better just to respond to the negative stuff. The first negative reaction I'm seeing, first out of two, is something along the lines of this doesn't fix our scoring problem and delays Lorai's advancement, or development, I should say. That's not a stupid statement. That's not incorrect. It's an absolutely fair criticism of this deal. And I think we have to operate under the assumption that this is, at least comparably, the best deal we could get, right? Because you have to look at the Markstrom deal as kind of a primer here. Markstrom has multiple years under team control, right? He is a goalie with more history that for some reason teams feel is the better and safer bet than Linus Ullmark, which, if you look at the Bruins system, you go, that's a very good defensive team. Both goalies are thriving there, yada, yada, yada. There's some risk bringing in Ullmark if maybe he's not actually that good behind a team that's not as good defensively, which is weird to me because you look at his numbers and his ability when he was in Buffalo, when you still go, the guy seemed like he was doing pretty well while getting shelled on that team. So weird, but it was no secret that Markstrom was the big prize and Ullmark was going to be the second prize. It appears to me that New Jersey did us a favor by going out and getting Markstrom quickly. Nedeljkovic gets re-signed by Dubas in Pittsburgh. That's another goalie that might have been ready to take over some more games for another team. Kemper, he ends up going with a Pierre-Luc Dubois switch. These goalies get moved. And Ullmark is the most tantalizing goalie left in the market. And although the teams needing him have shrunk, it's still more than one team. So their prices have actually gone up. So you take into account that Markstrom went for a protected first rounder that we would assume is 20 and up because the Devils should be better this year than they were last year. They get a third pairing defensive defenseman, albeit a young one who has top four upside. And they had to retain 31% of Markstrom's contract for the next 2 years. Take all of that into account. This is a pretty good deal for the Bruins, right? 1 year of Ullmark for a year of Chychrun and a first-round pick, albeit late in the draft. Late in the first round, I should say. If that's what it is. So we're operating under the assumption that this is the best we could do. Chychrun does not fix our scoring issue, but it puts another solid top four defenseman on our left side, which has importance for two reasons. One, we aren't confident we have an NHL-ready defenseman behind Lindholm, Lohrei, and Wotherspoon on that left side, or Peak, depending on which one will be playing that left side. Which means we are unbelievably susceptible to an injury on the left side, really damaging this team. Like, genuinely damaging this team. Having somebody you can slot in who's a seventh defenseman, who you know you can rely on for at least 12 minutes a game, is massive. Pushing Wotherspoon to 7th D helps insulate this team when injuries do come up. Maybe we still have bad injury luck and it doesn't matter. Maybe Chychrun's own injury history comes to play here. He just had the healthiest season of his career last year. All that being said, you'd rather have 7 NHL defensemen than 6. Seems pretty obvious to me. There's real benefit there. Second reason that this is important. Lohrei got us all super jazzy jazzed during the playoffs that he was NHL ready for top 4 minutes, top pair minutes with McAvoy. He had plays where he waved off David Pastrnak, backdoor tap-in, to go absolute top shelf Cheddar Magic in a 1-inch space over the shoulder of Bobrovsky, and it got us all purely bona fide. Pumped. But I urge you, go back and watch his shifts, all of his shifts. Look at him the whole time. Every single shift. You'll see tremendous growth from his start in the NHL earlier that season, but you'll still see those same mistakes coming up. He is a player right now that the organization is not confident can handle top 4 minutes consistently. Mostly because of his decisions defensively. Mostly in transition. He's still, well, there's 2 parts of that. Transition, and when a team likes to put the puck down low behind our net and make plays from Gretzky's office, Lorai's a chaser, man. He does not take care of his front of the net the way you'd like. He's getting better at it. We saw forward momentum for him in all of these aspects. His pinches have gotten cleaner. His puck handling on the blue line has improved to the point where he's not making the decision to try to deke through multiple players on the blue line when the rest of his teammates are all in front of him. Stuff like that. But even during the playoff run, you watch his shifts and he still has these defensive gaps where he struggles. This is not dunking all over Lorai. It is pointing out a very obvious, hey, this guy might not be ready for this kind of pressure through a full season yet. That's fine. Putting him on the third pair with second power play minutes or just a variety of special teams, really, it's not going to stump his development. Yes, 22 minutes a night would be better. But can you survive 22 minutes a night of Lorai on the left side? Right now, that's very much up for debate. So, we went into the offseason knowing Sweeney wanted to do this. He was very vocal about it. He wanted another guy on that left side. He's had a hard-on for Chychrun for years. Chychrun is an excellent top 4 defenseman to toss into this lineup, which is already strong defensively. There is real reason for this. And I know we're excited about Lorai. I know we want Lorai to continue to develop. I don't think putting him on the third pair this year is really going to absolutely shatter what he can be. It just gives him more time. And it's not like it's going to be all season. They're going to bounce around a little bit. That's absolutely part of the plan because injuries are going to happen. And maybe Lorai gets hot for a little bit. And you toss him up to the top pair, give him some extra minutes. Just doesn't have to be as rigid as people make it out to be. Lorai's greatest battle is consistency at this point. And he's going to get there. But bringing in Chychrun does not make Lorai's development stall. I just genuinely don't believe that. The other negativity I'm seeing about a potential trade like this is that Chychrun isn't good. This was an interesting one to me. Because why is he suddenly not good? What happened? He had a down year in Ottawa. I'm not going to argue with that. He wasn't as good as he hoped to be. New system. Obviously, he had the offseason with them, so he had the chance to learn it. But new system. The other defensemen certainly weren't studs in their own right. Their goaltending was horrendous. I mean, forwards weren't helping out defensively. The entire defensive side of the puck for them was bad. And you can make the argument that Chychrun was part of that. Absolutely. He is a top 4 defenseman. He really is. I don't know why this has switched so hard with so many people just because he hasn't been a superstar. He's not a superstar. I think part of it comes from his struggle right now to marry the offensive and defensive sides of his game. I feel like throughout the season, he has chunks this season where he's really good offensively and then lackluster in the defensive zone. And then there's other chunks which are vice versa. I do think he struggles and he just decides on one or the other and then he can't mold them together all the time. Pair that with McAvoy, I'm not worried about it. Genuinely not worried about it. Pair him with Carlo, still. He is a great puck-moving defenseman, really strong. He finds breakout passes when it doesn't look like there's anything there. He's not a guy who's going to clear out the front of the net with incredible force or he's going to body everything. That's just not his game. But really strong puck mover, active stick defensively, does a good job. Genuinely does a good job and has enough foot speed that, I mean, the top pair suddenly becomes a demon on both sides. Breakout passes can come from either side. You have a weapon on each point in the offensive zone. I don't understand where this narrative that Chychrun isn't good anymore came from. He has injury history. I would not get him and immediately extend him for an 8-year deal or anything like that. Absolutely not. But this is not a huge risk bringing him in. And if you get a first along with him, the value is there for Ullmark. 100% there. Also worth mentioning, it does create a really wonderful relationship on all three pairs. You've got Chychrun, McAvoy, which is what the assumption would be. Both puck movers, both sound defensively. McAvoy obviously has the upper level of talent there that Chychrun can lean on a little bit if he decides to make a move offensively. Plenty to like about that pair. Lindholm-Carlo, puck mover, defensive defenseman. You like that. Both high end in those traits. Both can play top pairing minutes in those roles if you need to. Really, really strong second pair. And your third pair is Lohrei, an up-and-comer on that left side who has top 4 potential, and Peak, who we saw be just sturdy as all hell through the end of last season. A real defensive shutdown guy. The 6 defensemen on our team, with Chychrun being brought in, would have to be ranked top 5 in the league. It would have to be ranked top 5. Maybe top 3. Maybe number 1. The defense suddenly becomes elite. And every pair is dangerous in its own right. There's not a lot of downside to that. Does it fix the scoring problem? No. Does it bring in assets to potentially fix the scoring problem? Yeah. This is real value for Ullmark. And again, this is speculation at this point. But there's a lot of reason to like this deal. And the negativity part of it just feels like people want to be negative. I don't really get it. Is Chychrun as good as he looked 3 years ago? No. But we have this bad habit of being like, oh, you didn't reach your potential? You must suck. We did it to DeBrusk. God, I'm hoping he stays on the Bruins. Genuinely am. It doesn't look like it, but I'm really hoping. Because although DeBrusk isn't what we thought he could be, he is still an extremely reliable top 6 winger. And reliable in the 200-foot game sense. And without the injuries that he had this year, seems pretty clear he would have hit 20 goals, 25. I know he's not the most consistent guy on the planet, but great defensively, nice speed to use on the wing. He's a good top 6 forward. And he didn't hit his peak. And people act like he sucks now because of it. I don't get it. I think we're doing the same thing to Chychrun. I think he's going to be a really good addition to this team if he gets brought over. It doesn't fix our biggest issue, but it saves a little bit more cap room and gives us another asset to weaponize to potentially bring in more help now, or you draft a guy you really like at that position. There's value there. There's real value. So if this trade comes to be, Ullmark and Lauko, you were great Bruins. I will miss you. But this is a good trade for Sweeney, if this is what it comes down to. And I'm crossing my fingers that all these rumors are correct. Go Bees. Go Bees! And of course, we have to say a big old thank you to the high-quality inspectors who happen to all be 10 out of 10s. Not sure if you guys knew that. We've got our top-line tier inspectors, GD Viperworks, Tiffany Hagel, Chris and Erica, Len Cruz, Moonlighter TV, The Bugman, Brock Nope, Han Slomo, Coach D, The Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Aaron Adams, Just Aaron, Darren Woodbury, Brett Arney, Pinsent, and Nick Zatrullo. Absolute studs. 10 out of 10. I'm not kidding. Every single one of them. And, of course, there's the highest of high-quality inspectors. The All-Star tier. 12 out of 10s. Can you believe it? So hot. We've got the Mad Marcus, Adrian Winter, Tyler McCourt, Tupton D. Tashi, John Kirk, Jacob Pratt, Heil E. Coyote, Michael DePaulo, Wolf Warrior, Vinny, Adam Ella, Bruin Smash, Joel, Abraxion, D.A. Kingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Doots42, and Jeremy. You guys are stallions. You're all legends, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you and your help with keeping this channel going. Thank you. And go Bees.